For years, scientists and archaeologists have debated the historical accuracy of the Bible's accounts of ancient Israel. Many argued that Israel didn't exist before the 11th century BC and that the stories of Abraham and Moses and the conquest of Canaan were just myths. However, a shocking discovery challenged this view. This unexpected find caused a sensation in the academic world and sparked a renewed interest in the historical accuracy of the Bible. Curious to know what it is? Dive with us into an exciting discovery confirming the Bible's account. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on exciting archaeological discoveries that show the Bible is true. In the Bible book Exodus, the story of how Israel left Egypt is told. Traditionally, this is dated to 1446 BC. This event marked the beginning of Israel's national identity as they were delivered from slavery in Egypt and began their journey towards the Promised Land. After the Exodus, the Israelites spent 40 years wandering in the wilderness before finally settling in the land of Canaan. The conquest of Canaan, led by Joshua, occurred around 1406 BC, according to the biblical chronology. Following the conquest, the period of the Judges began, lasting until the reign of King Saul around 1050 BC. It was during the period of the Judges that the Israelites experienced cycles of disobedience, oppression, and deliverance, as recorded in the book of Judges. King David, who ruled from around 1000 BC to 961 BC, is considered one of the most significant figures in Israel's history. He was anointed as king by the prophet Samuel and established Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. However, many scientists have a problem with this timeline. They do not accept the traditional dates of events as recorded in the Bible and instead look to archaeological evidence to piece together an alternative history of ancient Israel. According to this approach, Israel did not emerge as a cohesive entity until the 11th century BC, or even later. Archaeological finds from this period, such as pottery, settlements, and inscriptions, suggest that a group of people with a distinct culture and identity began to coalesce in the region. These scholars argue that Israel emerged out of the indigenous Canaanite population through a process of social, cultural, and religious evolution. They reject the biblical account of a conquest of Canaan by the Israelites and instead propose a more gradual and complex process of cultural assimilation and integration. Their argument typically goes like this: archaeological evidence shows that the people of Canaan shared a common culture, language, and religion, and there is no clear evidence of an invasion or conquest by a foreign people. Rather, over time, a group of Canaanites began to develop a distinct identity centered around their belief in a single, powerful God who had chosen them as a special people. Many of these scientists do not accept the existence of King David as a historical figure. While there is evidence of a powerful kingdom in the region around the 10th century BC, their view is that this was not a centralized kingdom ruled by a king named David, but rather a loose confederation of tribes and clans. Israel as a nation, they claim, did not exist until about 950 BC. But this critical approach to the biblical timeline encounters one big, huge, enormous problem: a black granite slab of over 3 meters tall. Let us have a look at how this stone giant crushes the alternative history of the Bible critics. A stele is a stone slab that was constructed as a memorial in the ancient world. It is typically taller than it is wide. Since the first Egyptian dynasty, steles have been utilized primarily as vertical stone slabs used for memorial or burial purposes. The stele's surface often included some inscription and occasionally decoration. The decoration was painted, carved in relief, or inscribed. Steles have been used as boundary markers, designate sacred areas, to commemorate a ruler's accomplishments and honors, and to print laws and decrees. In the ancient Near East and Egypt, they were widely used. In 1896, the renowned British archaeologist Flinders Petrie discovered a stele full of inscriptions. Petrie was a pioneer in the field of Egyptology, and his work in the late 19th and early 20th centuries contributed greatly to our understanding of ancient Egypt and the surrounding regions. Petrie's discovery of the stele was part of a larger archaeological expedition that he undertook in the ancient city of Thebes in Egypt. It was found in a temple complex known as the Mortuary Temple of Pharaoh Merneptah, who ruled Egypt from 1213 to 1203 BC. The temple was located near the city of Luxor, on the west bank of the Nile River. The stele was named after the pharaoh mentioned in the inscriptions and became known as the Merneptah stele. According to Petrie's account of the discovery, the stele was found lying face down in the ruins of the temple. It was partially covered by sand and debris, and had been damaged over time by weathering and erosion. However, Petrie recognized the significance of the stele and took great care in excavating and preserving it. After the stele was removed from the site, It was transported to Cairo and placed on display in the Egyptian Museum, where it remains today. The stele contains a detailed account of Merneptah's military campaigns in the Near East. The inscription on the stele is written in hieroglyphics, and it records Merneptah's military victories over various peoples and city-states in the region, including the Libyans, Canaanites, and the Hittites. But the Merneptah stele became famous because of one thing. Towards the end it mentions Israel. The mention of Israel is brief, but it is significant because it is the earliest known reference to the people or nation of Israel outside the Bible. The specific passage of the stele that mentions Israel reads, "Israel is laid waste and his seed is not." The meaning of the passage is not entirely clear, but it is likely that Merneptah is claiming victory over the Israelites and boasting about their defeat. The phrase "his seed is not" has been interpreted as meaning that the Israelites were completely destroyed, but that is a common overstatement in the victories claimed by Egyptian pharaohs. However, the most important thing is not the exact meaning of the sentence. The most remarkable thing is that Israel is being mentioned at all. The Merneptah stele is an important piece of evidence for the existence of Israel during the 13th century BC, as it provides the earliest known reference to Israel outside the Bible. This is significant because some scholars had previously claimed that Israel did not exist as a distinct entity until much later in history. Before the discovery of the Merneptah stele, some scientists had relied on the lack of evidence for the existence of Israel and earlier texts to argue that the biblical account of Israel's origins was largely fictional. However, the mention of Israel on the stele contradicts this claim, and provides strong evidence that there was a group of people who were known by the name Israel in 1200 BC, over 200 years earlier than scientists had claimed. Moreover, for Israel to be mentioned on an Egyptian inscription, it must have been a well-known people that already existed long before the inscription was made. The stele also provides some insight into the relationship between Egypt and Israel during this time period. The mention of Israel's defeat suggests that Israel and Egypt were in conflict, and that Egypt was able to exert its dominance over the region. However, the fact that Israel is mentioned alongside other established city-states and peoples suggests that it was not a minor group, but rather an entity with some degree of political and cultural significance. The inscription on the Merneptah stele has one more characteristic that confirms the biblical record about Israel. The hieroglyphs meaning Israel are very remarkable. The other nations are preceded by a hieroglyph depicting a city, that is a throw stick with 3 mountains. But the name Israel is preceded by a throw stick with a man and woman under it. This indicates Israel is not a city, but a people. So the Merneptah stele implies a rural status for Israel, without a capital. Of course, this is exactly what the Bible describes as Israel's situation in the time of the Judges, when this stele was made. The Merneptah stele forms an inconvenient truth to archaeologists who continue to deny the biblical story. Amazingly, some of them continue with their theorizing like the mention of Israel in 1200 BC does not exist. Yet the inscription on this stele is proof that Israel did exist long before some scientists believed it did. They would be wise to trust the Bible more, as we all should.